So here we have a sign replacement. We have our box lid that has a logo on it, which has been basically put in to replace the original surface of the box. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're replacing the lid, which would also be kind of a sign replacement or anything really that you want to get rid of or replace some sort of a graphic. And the way that it's done is to replace the entire surface. So that gives you a kind of a blank slate then that you can put whatever you want on top of that. So the main components here are the plate. We have a kind of a clean lid, if you want, or a clean version of the top of the box. And then sitting on top of that, we have our own graphic that we've brought in. Okay. Now the last thing that was done then was for an adjustment layer to put back on the shine that would have been reflected on the top of the box, to give it a little bit more realism. And you can see there that the shine from the adjustment layer, which is effectively just a mask with a curve adjustment, just to brighten it in that spot there, gives the illusion that there is a light reflecting on that logo, which kind of forces it back into the photographic space, which works for us. So the clean version of the lid was created in Photoshop, and that was just done basically by taking the original version of the lid and warping it to get it to fit the first of all, what you would do is you would create an image, or make the image 1920 by 1080 so it can be pinned in properly. So you could do that, you know, at a few different junctures. You could just go to image size and change it there to 1920 by 1080, and then you're effectively then trying to cover the image plane with just the box. So that would be holding down your control key, warping it out, and just going back around it once or twice then, just to get it exactly as you need it. And once you've executed that transform, then you're just going in with your clone tool, and you're trying to clone out as much as you can from the clean parts of the new box lid until you get a clean version. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it pretty much works sufficiently in After Effects to map onto the original box. Okay, so you'll see that the what was created in Photoshop is brought back in and is tracked into the scene. Now, as always, when you bring in additional elements to be mapped into something like this, you'll have to do some sort of a curves adjustment on it to make sure that the colors match between the foreground and the background. Now, the plate is tracked in MOCHA, and you can see here we have a X-spline following the surface of the box. So it's just basically mapped to try and take in the entire surface. Now, it slips slightly, but it doesn't really seem to have much of an impact on the final result. When the surface is put in, the surface stays mapped pretty well to the surface. Now, in reality, when we corner pin in our new box lid, it's only going to come to roughly here, and it's going to be feathered. So if it's not exactly perfect, it won't matter. But essentially all we're doing in here is we're just getting our corner pin data from the surface of the box, and then we're sending that back into to After Effects, where we apply it as tracking data to both our box top, and then separately to our graphic. So there's nothing really new in this. It's just trying to create a more photorealistic look by applying things like motion blur to the logo, so that when the logo moves with fast movement of the camera, you'll see that it very nicely matches the motion blur of the camera, in that if we didn't have it, it would look sharp and a little bit unrealistic. And the last thing then is to put in an adjustment layer with a soft mask, so that we get a curve adjustment just showing up within the soft mask on our adjustment layer. The mask doesn't move because that's the nature of reflections. The box and the camera move, but the light should stay roughly in the same place. So it gives that kind of illusion of seeing the reflection of the light pass through the logo text. Okay, so that's creating a realistic sign replacement. In this case, it's obviously a box lid replacement. Just using MOCHA, very simple track, and then tracking everything you need in. But the new part here would be applying motion blur and an adjustment layer to try and push it back into that photographic space. And the other thing actually that is done is there's a 3-pixel camera lens blur on the logo as well, just again to kind of push it back and make it look like it was shot with a phone camera lens.